Hey everybody, it's Kenneth Ramon here.
Brett Hyatt here.
And this is Ridgecrest Talks, and we're delighted to have a special guest on our show, Miss Laura. Can you pronounce your last name?
It's Laura Quezada.
Quezada. I did not want to butcher your last name.
I have a Q and a Z in my name, which I think is totally cool.
Very, very cool.
I always say, just like it sounds.
Yes,
That's
yes.
how you spell it.
Really, really cool. So you do a lot for our community. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself? There's a lot you do.
You want to know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I do a lot. You're right. I moved back to Ridgecrest. I moved to the desert. I grew up in Trona in the 50s and 60s when I spent a lot of time people educating. Trona was a great community back then. It was never really pretty, but we had brackish, what we call probably gray water from the plant, and we could water our trees, and we would water our yards and put rake lines in and keep the dirt down. So
right.
it was a beloved community, and it was a company town, and they took care of the residents. Now, it's like a walking horror show there. But I left for 45 years, lived all sorts of places, and then I came back in 2015. 2015. And at the time I was working for PBS in Sacramento, and I kept that job. Worked for my office, my home office. And, I started looking around for live music because I'd been through a lot of traumas, and live music pretty much saved my soul, my spirit,
I think it saved all of us, to be honest.
my personality. It really saved me from some pretty bad trauma and years. But anyway, this is why I'm such a fun-loving person, because I learned the difference between a good time and a bad time. And I used to say, I hope when things are good I notice. Well, I notice, and then I just go for it, because more than once a phone call has changed my life for 4 years at a time. Maybe 3 times in my life. So, anyway, so I started looking around and found the Was, the Who or the Whatevers. I thought I'm saved.
Was that the first band you ever seen when you came back?
No, it was somebody else, and I went, oh my God, what have I done? I won't mention names, nice people, but then I saw the Whatevers, and I said, I'm saved. Them and the Carter brothers in Trona, who jam on Saturday nights at the Elks Lodge, and they've been harmonizing since they were kids, so, and they're all dudes like me. I'm a dudette. But, so I started noticing, well, there's stuff going on, but nobody can find it. So at that time, even when I'm still working for PBS, I started trying to get an events calendar.
Right.
Right. Now, it's not...
So like RidgecrestEvents.com.
RidgecrestEvents.com now. It took me 3 years. I finally, I like Sacramento 365. They wouldn't answer me. I finally found, my friend said, how about small market? And then I found a nice, soccer and stuff. And I pushed that really hard for a while. It was a lot of fun. Then they changed management. They wanted to monetize it. I like giving stuff away. What can I say? But I learned at that point, it's in a small town you can accomplish a lot.
True.
And I sort of learned that in Honolulu. Now, it's not a small town, but the entertainment community isn't that big. And everybody's so laid back in Hawaii. Hey, I went for it, and I got a lot done. And you will see me hula if you ever watch me dance. I love Neon Moon. I love that. Anyway, so for myself, pre-pandemic, I started High Desert Music Fan. And right now I say and now it's the High Desert Music Fan Group, which I want people to join. High Desert Music Fan Group.
Yes.
You'll see me dancing on the front of it.
That is on Facebook, correct?
That is Facebook. I don't do it on Instagram.
Definitely check it out.
Yes.
Yeah. And so what I do is I scroll and scroll and scroll so I can find music, and then I share anything that's you know, hour, 15 minutes, hour and a half, you know, because you can do that without staying in a hotel. I can do that. And then if I go to a gig, I have, you know, I do a dual selfie, and I really need selfie lessons. And I do
And you would be both.
shot of the band, and then like a shot of the crowd, and no more than 5 because that's how much looks good on a post. And you know, and it's a lot of fun. And I've gotten to know a lot of musicians and bands, and you know, it's kind of less now, but usually I know the owners and the managers of the venues, and so it's kind of fun. And I've been able to get folks gigs, you know, because
yeah, you got us a gig at the fair, and we appreciate you.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
That's what I was gonna say too about like the music community. It's kind of cool, like going to other shows and all that, and you build connections like a little family in this town. You know what I mean?
Oh yes,
Big
yeah.
music family.
Oh yeah,
It's fun.
yeah. You know, through open mic, a lot of people make connections there.
That's where I started with open mic.
Yeah, a lot of people did here, and now we've got someone who started there who is a recording artist in Scotland.
True.
Our
Yeah.
own
Shout out to all of
Stay
us.
Leonin. I don't know
Yeah.
if people don't know, but she lived with me for free for a long time because I support the arts. And then she got a job teaching. I'm so proud of her. She worked so hard. So then I charged her half the utilities. Anyway, so she's doing great.
Yeah,
And,
super.
yeah,
I
it's
didn't know
pretty
that.
cool, yeah. And, you know, I would do that again, you know, because I got the space. So that's High Desert Music Fans. So I scroll. Please join and send me your gigs. Make it easier on me.
Yes.
Please. I follow all sorts of bands, I follow all sorts of venues, but I follow cats and other stuff too, so they're not like the only thing on my feed.
Right.
So anyway,
There's been a lot of people, like, we were at Max Sabbath, I believe, we were at a gig in Palmdale, watching someone that's, like, not Ridgecrest related at all, and we saw another fan there, and he's like, you know who I love? High Desert Music Fan, because now I know what's going on in town, and, you know, like, since most music has, you know, they haven't been able to have live music in a while, they were a big part of this community and having live events. A lot of people don't know where else to follow bands in town, and you've done your part in definitely sharing that information.
oh, and you know what I like? I love the Moose Lodge. I know you guys have played
That
there.
place is cool.
Yeah, I like the crowd that goes there, and the dance floor is wonderful. They have a nice little stage.
It's just a simple like stage setup and all that stuff about it.
Yeah, but it's there. It's not okay. You get this corner, make the most of it. You know? So yeah, I think when I retire, which isn't happening soon, I'll probably join them. You know, right now, time headspace.
Okay, I started off this interview by saying that you do a lot of stuff because you do. You also get involved in like theater productions in town, and you dance a lot. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a time when you were teaching dance too. Is that right?
I tried, but it's not my thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd rather be a student. You know, I mean, you know, I teach people on the dance floor. So if it moves, move it.
There you go.
That's my teaching. No, yeah, I wanted to mention, I do have a show coming up.
You
I
do?
recently got cast in our MES production called Heart and Soul.
Ooh.
And it's going to be fabulous. Great, you know, I try to look up who's the crew. I know Brittany Brown, who I've admired since I've known her since 2017. Just this brilliantly talented young woman is directing it. But Natalie, I don't know her last name, from Simply Dance, or I don't know if it's Simply Dance or Simplicity Dance. She's the choreographer. And it's an original production, and if I remember correctly, and I may not, I am not the storyline is a woman finding herself or something through all these different musicals.
Ooh,
So
that
there's,
sounds
you know,
interesting.
numbers from well-known musicals.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've had one rehearsal. It was wonderful. So, and that's going up on at the Parker Performing Arts Center, August 30th, 31st, September 6th, and 7th. Come see it. Come see me.
Come on out.
Come on out.
Start the show right here, folks.
Yes.
And well, my email is lqpromotes@gmail. So,
Actually, I had a question. Who's your biggest influence on you, probably dancing and all that?
That's a good one.
my dancing, well, you know, I'm kind of really original. I was thinking about who, you know, I grew up in Trona, so I was like a wowie zowie baton twirler. But no dance classes until I went to college at 18, and then I started with folk dance, you know. So, but I loved Liza Minnelli. What a stage presence, you know. I don't care about her personal life. I'm like that about celebrities. I don't care.
What about Paula Abdul?
No, but I know someone who used to do her. I know what she likes sexually. Anyway, not my style, but she liked it. Anyway, no, Anne Ryan King. She was a really tall, beautiful dancer with Bob Fosse.
Ooh.
All that jazz. If you've never seen that movie, it's spectacular, and she's a featured dancer in that. Those two. And, yeah.
How long have you been dancing?
Well, actually dancing, in 7th grade I got discovered because I could, do mashed potato or whatever. So I've been dancing for fun, but I didn't have a very happy marriage, and I only danced at my family reunion for over 20 years, once a year. So when I moved to Ridgecrest, I was able to do this workout program that I found in Sacramento, and I programmed the secondary channel. But I didn't get the secondary channel because I was with the cable company, and but so when I moved here, PBS is on all sorts of channels on Dish.
Right.
So I had every episode ever recorded, except for one that my favorite that I accidentally erased, but it's called Classical Stretch. And it was developed by a former prima ballerina who broke her ankle, and she was Canadian, and she went into the fitness industry, and then she started making her own workouts. Now they don't look like dance. People say it looks like Tai Chi, it looks like Pilates, and she uses things that she learned from physical therapy, because if you're a dancer, you're in pain. Want to know where this one is? No. And and she found out along the way, my gosh, these are healing. I mean, she has healing workouts. I'm turning on my cousins, all sorts of people are onto her. And a friend of mine just said, I started doing it, and since Follies, the end of whatever that was, I lost 20 pounds.
Really?
Yeah, so it took me from this depressed, kind of blimpy, overweight woman, and it builds a dancer's body, long, lean muscles, So,
it keeps you happy, too.
Yeah, so, and then, I was going to hear the Carter brothers, and they like old school, Baker's country.
Oh, got you.
And I said, if you guys are going to keep playing this slow stuff, I'm going to start dancing really weird. And so I did, but you can't, so I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and then I just started doing it everywhere. If it's an empty floor, I do turns.
Oh yeah, you go for it. I've seen you.
Yeah, I call it the Quezada Traveling Rock and Roll Nightclub Act.
There you go.
And it's really fun for me when people come up and dance with me, and then I copy them, and then I make them look good. It's a lot of fun.
You gotta show me some moves. I don't know anything.
Yeah, honey, if it moves, move it. But
Well,
you gotta
I
have
know
the
some
music.
That's pretty much what I do when I'm on stage. I don't even know what I'm doing half the time.
Oh,
Even
you're
Elvis
adorable.
said that. Even Elvis said that. I don't know what I'm doing, but the music, it moves my hips. It's the truth. It's the truth. Sometimes you just go for it, man.
Well, if it gets too sexy, I tap dance. I'm not gonna bump and grind with people.
So, kind of a two-part question. What was your favorite type of music growing up, and what's your type of music now that you love?
Punk rock.
Unfortunately, no.
Did you listen to a bit of rock and roll growing up as a teenager? Or?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to remember. My sister found the Beatles, but at the time I liked something else. But you know what? Until I started working from home with I had my work computer here and my home Pandora there, I didn't know who was what, actually. Yeah. So whatever was top 40 probably is
Top
what
40.
I call top 40 rock, you know. I mean, I remember what Indigo to be.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and you know, my boyfriend would say, I just tell my mom that they put the wrong version on. That's why I'm late.
Sounds like 14 minutes long.
Yeah, yeah.
My grandpa just showed me that song. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah.
He does not like really long songs.
Yeah.
He's a short and sweet type of guy, this guy.
Oh man, it's too much for me. I'm like, okay, we get it. The drums are cool and all, but
Drums are cool and all.
Yeah, and then as a teenager, yeah, I did, you know, as an elementary school, no, but, you know, my sister would say, well, you know, Terry's sister watches Dick Clark, I'm watching cartoons. But as a teenager, yeah, I got into the Beatles, and I saw Paul McCartney several years ago, and I said, oh, God, this
I was
is, and oh, what a showman. But he was playing all those from the 60s, you know, songs. I thought, this is a soundtrack of my youth.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. And there was all these old people around him. But, yeah, it was fabulous. So, yeah. Now I'm blues rock. I found blues rock in like 2005. and I've been wild for it ever since. And now there's finally a blues band out here. It's called the Dry Lake Blues Band.
they're really good.
Really good.
Are they really good? Yeah, I hope they've been practicing, because you know when you hear their early views, you go, okay, kids, practice.
I mean, we sound like that too at one point, bro.
Yeah, I've been known
somewhere.
to say that, haven't I said? Nothing wrong with practicing.
Yeah. But they're all great musicians.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think they've only done like maybe 2 shows together
Open
so
mics,
far,
yeah.
and open
Yeah,
mics.
I have them on my calendar. I just saw it, but they're going to be up at Grumpy Bear, so that's a heck of a little trek up and out. That might be fun.
I have a question for you. You mentioned cartoons. So in our band, we play Scooby-Doo. What's your favorite cartoon?
Oh, I saw you ask that question. Betty. What do you think? Yeah,
Betty
yeah.
Boop. All right.
Yeah.
I ask everyone that question. And then I also ask this one. What's your favorite Taco Bell order?
Yeah.
I think
That's our-
I know
that's
this
our
one.
favorite
I think I
restaurant.
know this one.
Oh, I usually go for 2 crunchy regular Taco Bell with nothing extra and a Diet Coke.
And a Diet Coke.
I have this today because I had no Diet Coke at home. I drank it all.
You and this guy, man. He loves Diet Coke too.
Oh yeah, she knows.
So he drinks.
That's all there
We're
is.
going to get him a sponsorship deal. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'll say. Yeah, let's get Black Card.
This show has been sponsored by Diet Coke and Taco Bell.
Yep, baby. Hey, this is the same one you were wearing with, what's his face?
It's a little bit different, yeah.
Oh, is
the other one was
it?
like a 4th of July one. This one's just regular.
Shut up, Beavis.
Who was that guy? Oh my gosh, the one that was with that really loved working on Tom Cruise's movie.
Zach Bell?
Zach Bell.
Zach Bell. Oh, I'm sorry he's not coming back to Follies. He is so talented. And you know, I do Follies.
So, okay, speaking of Follies, that was one thing I forgot to mention on here because, you know, like I said, you do so much. You tell us a little bit about Follies. Maybe you have a different perspective.
No. I love being on stage so much. You know, one year I had a bully. It was miserable, but on stage, honey, I loved it. So I'll put up with all sorts of garbage to be on stage. When I moved, let me see. I'm not sure what year it was, but I read about it. You know, Follies is coming, and I said, that sounds stupid. And I didn't go, and then someone I respected said, hey, oh no, it's hilarious, you gotta see it. So the next year, a girlfriend and I went, oh my God, I have to do this.
Yeah.
And then the next year I did.
Cool.
And I did it for a couple years, and then they gave me a feature. and I did a duet, and I loved it. I did Judy Garland and Mickey Rooney.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so what it is, they take well-known, popular songs, and you are responsible, your group is responsible for the choreography and the costume and the concept. They'll give you an idea, you know, and it's goofy, it's funny, it's fun. There's always guys, your friend Zach, in heels, and you know, push-up bras, push-up bras, corsets, guys, and you know, and it's all done in fun. And you know, he said it's a bunch of. It used to be people would drink to get on stage, but not really. Now it's the audience. They're so toasted by the time we get out there, they don't care what we do. They love us. And then each had the same production team. The main director and his crew from San Diego has been doing this for 30 years. And he does the open and close. And I was so blown away when I saw it. He makes it so simple. It looks like we're doing all this complex, and we're just following the line. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's $25. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah,
there's something to do in this town too.
Huh?
There's something to do in this
And
town.
it's fun, and you were going to come, and you didn't.
Yeah, we couldn't do it this year. Hopefully next year we will.
Well, this year we did 3 performances, so you know, so everybody has to be in the open and the close, and I was only in like maybe 2 other members, but you know, this year, I mean last year, oh my gosh, I got put in charge of choreographing 8 people. I don't do that.
Wow.
I flipped. Thank God for Lena. Have you seen her last name?
Oh, Lena Pocal?
She's so talented. She also
She's
had
great.
a bad experience. She's not coming back. I'm so disappointed. But she kind of took over one part, and it was great teamwork. I really but I got to be the grade 7.
Oh, then we definitely have to check that out next year.
Yeah.
It's too bad we couldn't.
We did a Friday and then 2 on Saturday. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing anything extra this year. And at the time, my mom was really sick, but she got over it. So it was good. I got to skate. I had a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
It was nice to not have a lot of responsibility.
So I have a question. You interviewed a lot of bands. Out of all of the bands you interviewed, what's your favorite besides the Black Heart Strings?
Or interviewing anybody in general.
Yes, so I interview because I write for the News Review.
Yes.
I'm the arts and community writer on page 3. Laura's at page 3. We also have Laura Austin, the photographer, and everything else. And I can't write whatever I want. I have to pitch it to the publisher, Pat Ferris, who I adore. Best boss I ever had. And she is Suzette Caulfield, the former CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. Is great too. People who know you're smart and let you, right? No micromanaging. So I always, like, hey, if you're going to be playing a benefit, let me know. I'll be able to write about it.
It's cool.
So, gosh, I was really happy recently. I loved interviewing you.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I'm so disappointed we changed, like, web hosts or something, and so yours isn't on Monday.
I still got my physical copy, though.
You
I
got
love
your
that. I look
physical
at it all the time. Thank you.
I wrote a great story about you. That was a lot of fun, because you're an interesting guy.
Oh, thank
A lot of
you.
moving
So are
parts.
you. That's why
A lot
we're
of
doing
moving
this
parts.
today.
A lot of moving parts.
Not an interesting guy, interesting girl.
No, he's a guy.
No, you said so are you.
Oh.
Interesting individual.
There we go.
Human. Good
Yes.
humans. I always tell my kids, we got to be the good guys. So that was my moral guidance. So I was happy, and it was what a pain in the rear end, writing the story about the recent benefit of the USO.
Ooh,
5 different bands. So I think I like that because I finally got to see Chuck Bolt's recording studio.
Oh,
It's amazing.
it's awesome.
It's so hard to find. He said I could drop by, just call first, but I can never find it. Corky had to come out and find me. And then I had to follow him out. I could never find it. I had been out there for a party many years ago, and I was so cool. Corinza played the cello, and I danced under the moonlight, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, the stars out there are amazing.
Yeah, but I just can't find that place. At that time, it was this turn at the barking dog. I see the barking dog, but I don't know where it is. So yeah, so I really liked that, and I'm really proud of my page 3. I don't know if you saw a couple weeks ago. My story was about my family.
It was. Ooh.
Yeah, now that was my cousin Eddie Payne, who lives in I don't know where he's living now. He's moving. But he subscribes to the paper, and he suggested, hey, you know. There's a story about this. Well, my family actually did something noteworthy. For 70 years, there has been a family golf tournament and reunion, consecutive. During the pandemic, 3 foursomes got together and played golf. Now, they didn't do all the other bells and whistles that we do. So I did this whole, like, you know, some backstory. I mean, it started with Pancho Villa.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So, yeah, it's a good story. And I got paid to write it. That's
the best part.
That's
yeah,
really cool.
I mean, that was pretty cool. So I'm pretty happy about that. And so I liked that. Who else have I written about?
There's a lot.
Yeah, some people piss me off. I promote them for something, and then I do something else when they get there and go, no. Bait and switch.
How long have you been doing it for?
Well, not that long.
Not that long?
I left my phone out.
Do you keep track of the amount of stories you've written?
Oh, I keep them in. Yeah, they're in mine.
You got a lot of sure, right?
Oh, yeah.
You make a stack of every paper you've written.
Yeah, I do. They're just crammed into this thing. I said, what am I doing?
Well, you could just like cut just your page.
Yeah, one could.
Little scrapbook.
Well, I had started one before because when I first moved here, I wrote a fabulous story about the whatevers, and I wasn't working for anybody. I did it for free. I just did it and sent it out. They didn't give me credit. They said special to the Daily Independent. Daily Independent would put me word for word news review back then. It's too long. It's too long. Anyway, and then I did about them, and I think Jeff, the one who's teaching, Jeff.
Oh, Jeff Walsh.
Jeff Walsh. I did a story about him, and you know, I just did them just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And I don't think my boss even knows that I do.
What's your favorite thing about it?
Oh, I'm an extrovert. I love meeting people, and you know, my boss tells me, you know, I write with a lot of heart, but I look for the heart. I look for the heart, and I will share the heart.
I agree.
That's awesome.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
You're a great writer.
Thank you.
A lot of talent there.
Thank you. Well, you know, I didn't know I was a writer. You know, when I went back to, I had fun in college when I was 18. Yeah, we won't talk about that. My kids don't get to know. And then I dropped out. I lived in Hawaii and other places, you know. And then in '97, I went back. We moved from the San Francisco area to Sacramento, and I went back in '99. I got my bachelor's. And that's what I found. I liked interviewing and writing.
Cool.
You know, I would do that, you know, and, you know, I figured, I'm not afraid of, I mean, my boss was, can you speak to the superintendent of schools? I said, I'm not afraid of anybody. You know, so.
That's a good skill.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's fun. And, you know, I'm sort of a theater person. I try to dress for the role, you know, so I have fun, you know. Going to a ranch, better wear my boots and jeans. Going to the CEO, better wear the good dress.
Do you have like a favorite memory, a favorite play you've done so far? Like I love The Prince of Egypt.
Yeah, look.
That was a lot of fun.
Locally, you saw it?
Yes, that was a lot. That was a lot of fun. That was a really nice production. And that was the one, like, I was like, I have to see Laura do, like, something. I gotta go out and support her. And I was so happy it was that because that was so good.
Yeah,
It was really
Oh, well, you know, people, I know, people in Ridgecrest don't know what an incredible genius we have in Kate Duncan.
Yeah.
Owns the dance studio. Her productions are amazing. Parents say, we love it. It costs hardly anything for costumes because she says, okay, now turn it inside out and add a belt, and it looks good. The art direction from beginning to end, it's painted, the lights, the music, and this is how much God loves me. So when I decided to become single, I had a crush on a dirt poor musician who is still my friend, but then he said, no, thank you, when my husband was actually gone, and I went, okay, God, now what? And the next day, I knew my house next door was a rental. What I didn't know was that Kate owned that rental, and she got rid of the renters and moved in. And now my best friend owns a dance studio. I mean, talk about a tribe. And we got each other through the pandemic. We have coffee every morning unless unless either one of us has something going on.
Nice.
But we've had coffee all through the pandemic, keep our distance and have coffee. It's great. Now she comes over for ice. She goes, coffee in the morning. I said,
So is that the Sierra Academy of Dance?
Sierra Academy stuff. Check them out. They're on Facebook. They have a guest teacher choreographer who's teaching hip hop.
Ooh, there you go.
And I haven't done it, but people love it. And they're getting ready for competitions and stuff. They're going down to Southern California somewhere at the end of July, I guess. And they're fundraising.
Are you a fan of hip hop, like rap and all that?
I'm not.
You dance to it, will you?
I can dance to everything.
Yeah.
I can dance to everything and anything. And yeah.
But not particularly your favorite genre.
No, I love blues rock. It's so primal. Blues is primal. I like that.
Okay.
And anything with a rock beat, I really like.
One thing I have to ask you, we were both at the benefit concert for the USO. What did you think of the Wazza set? Because there was a lot of blues rock on that.
Oh.
You don't remember?
I was probably too busy dancing.
Yeah.
No, and I got to hear them practice that stuff when I went out there.
I just love how they break out the harmonica and everything.
Oh, yeah.
They're all really talented.
They're great. They're great. One song I do like that you guys do is I Want to Be Sedated.
Oh, yeah.
Because I do.
I do.
Enough said. And let's see. What else? So I have these cool business cards, and
Yeah.
and if you go, I see that you edit. So go to High Desert Music Band Group, and you can get the original. You can't see this, but you can get the original, the art. Now that is original art by Cheryl McDonald.
Oh, okay.
And it's based from a photo my son took of me. And so Cheryl McDonald, so I take these and, somebody shows enough interest, I'll give them one and I say it's fine. This is original art, I'm giving it to you for free today.
Cool.
And Cheryl could use our prayers, she has some health issues right now, so pray for Cheryl, please. Because I need to revise these, I don't want to ask her.
It's really, really cool.
And so so I wanted to plug Cheryl. Now, another thing that's pretty cool is, I guess it was about a year ago, I had this cousin's daughter who's late 30s, and that's like my people. Most of my new friends are like a lot younger than me. And I'm not even I'm lively. But I get along really well with her, and she lives down, she's an actor. She had a movie of the week, when she was a teen or early 20s. And I guess it finally, she's one of these genius folks, but it finally came to the point where when she was up for a part, it was between her and the name, and then they always got it. Now, now she's pregnant, but her last gig was she built props for the movie industry. She's just really multi-talented woman. So I always said, you know, I love dancing, but she used to bartend too. So she finally wasn't bartending, and so we set a date for me to go down there. And then, as it turns out, her friend Mark A.J. Mazel, N-A-Z-A-L, he's an Emmy Award winning director. There was a film festival contest where they had like 48 hours. This is the theme, make a movie. So she asked me if I wanted to go. Yeah, and I said, oh, and I don't know how we got to it. I said, but I have angel wings. She goes, yeah, bring them, bring them. So they wrote a role. They wrote me in the role as her guardian angel.
I think I remember you telling me this. That's really
my God, it's so much fun. It's just a 5-minute film. And they Mark just posted yesterday that they just re-edited it, and next they're going to be submitting it to the film festival.
Wow, that's cool.
Congrats.
Yeah.
That is really exciting.
Harmony. That was a lot of fun.
Definitely keep us updated on that.
Yeah,
I want to see this.
You gotta follow me on, you gotta at least check in on me on Facebook.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about that.
That's really cool, Lauren.
And then, you know, on my card, it says it's two-sided, which is really cool. Oh, what does it say? I forgot to do this in large print. Well, but I'm a news review staff writer. I'm a freelance writer, hire me, and
Yes.
and I'm a dance artist. Now, I can call myself a dance artist because in 1976 in Hawaii, I performed, I think it was at the University Amphitheater. I was asked to do a tribute to Isadora Duncan. And that was probably the most artistic experience of my life because I was taking dance classes at the university, and my girlfriend's a highly trained pianist composer. And I got permission to use the dance studio. And she would play music, she would research the music, and back then researching is books.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there was no internet, there was no, you know, so, because we're talking about 1976, the Dark Ages. And so she would play music and I would just improvise, and I came up with like a 5-part dance opera in tribute to Isadora.
Wow.
And then, so when I moved here in 2015, for a little while, I was in an office on Boston Street, and I was walking down, going for my walk, and I saw that, oh God, what's his name? I should have written down his name. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Michael Moss had a studio that used to be the tanning salons, and he was going to do a pop-up art show.
That's pretty cool.
And I said, oh, I want to do this. And he goes, well, you have any students? I go, no, I'm an old broad, but I can do it. And so, you know, I had a little space, and I decorated it, you know, and columns and chiffon and stuff. And that was great fun. Well, then he moved away, but he came back to town to do another pop-up art show at another location, and they asked me to do it. I said, okay, now I'm a dance artist. I'm not a wannabe. I'm a dance artist.
Yes.
I made it.
My stamp of approval there.
There you go.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
And I'm a big, you know, I'm somewhat of a self-taught Isadora Duncan scholar.
There you go.
Do you know who she was?
I do not.
Isadora Duncan. Here, Isadora, she likes to come to me and dance. Isadora Duncan is the turn of the 20th century dancer who was raised in an eccentric situation up in near the Bay Area and down there, and so she would go to the ocean and dance. And as a child, she would teach little kids how to wave arms. And her dream was always to have a big school where she taught children dance, music, poetry, so that we would build a better world.
Wow.
And so she was not, this is the early, 1920s, she was not understood in the United States. She did go to New York, and they put her in something, and she stole the show, so they kind of dimmed the lights when she was there. So she said, screw this. She went to Europe and made a big splash. Made it big, just like Josephine Baker.
Wow.
I want to do something about that. But anyway, I want to do Isadora Duncan and Josephine Baker never met until now. Yeah. And then have them dance together. But anyway, I was channeling Josephine Baker and not even knowing it. I found this, oh my God, early film when she still kept her clothes on. Oh my God, I do that. I do that. She does the tap dancing and all that, whatever. She was doing it to big band. But anyway, so she's considered the mother of modern dance.
Right on.
She danced, was just wearing a tunic, half naked, free. She was eccentric, brilliant, learned all these languages in Europe, hung out with the artists of the day. I don't even remember, I should look, but whoever we know, we've heard of them, she hung out with them. Classical musicians, Rodin.
You could definitely give us a history lesson on all this.
There it is. There it is.
Really cool.
That's a Cliff Notes version.
And
then she's most famous for her tragic death.
Oh.
Well, she also was in, Act 4. She had she had beautiful children. She didn't believe in marriage. She had a child with the heir to the singer fortune and another to someone else. Stage director, and beautiful little blonde kids, blue curls. They were riding in a closed vehicle with their nanny along the river Seine. They had a flat tire. The chauffeur put the car up and rolled in. So now, after that, Isadora would never ride in a closed vehicle. So
I wouldn't want to either.
no. And so then, years later, maybe she was approaching 50. I'm not sure. She went through, she'd get money and put her along to a school, but money and put her on to, she was just like that. It was her life wasn't, oh, now I'm big now. It was like, whoa.
It was, yeah.
And so she got into a car, and she was known for her scarves. She would dance with scarves. Through her scarf around her neck, got caught in the spokes, and she died instantly.
Wow.
Now, that's what most people know about her. And I thought, well, that's not bad. She got famous. She didn't have to grow old and lose her career.
She wasn't married.
Huh?
You said she wasn't married, right?
Oh, well, she ended up marrying for a little while someone who committed suicide. This was not a really happy life.
Yeah.
But it was very creative. I had a little library. If you want to read any books about Isadora. But, yeah. So,
yeah, thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
I definitely want to look more into it.
I would love to do another one, another tribute to Isadora.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd really like to do She Meets Josephine Baker. That would be so much fun. But that would be, and then I have one other project that you've heard of that you probably haven't thought too much of. So I think about last September I started, I got inspired to start like women's fiction.
Yes.
In a town called Hensville. Hensville is this little town.
You still working on it?
Well, what happened is a couple months later, an uncle and a cousin were dying. And I got to see them before they died, those people and all that stuff. But it kind of took the wind out of my socks. So right now, it's starting to come back.
Good, good.
And yeah, Hensville. So yeah, so that's sort of a long-range project. But I've already thought of the sequel. So.
Right on, right on. That's good to hear. Yeah, remember what I told you about the USO? You know, if you want to share a little bit about it, you know,
yeah,
you can just read a couple things.
I'm thinking, I gotta write this down because I get these great ideas when I'm out dancing. My creativity goes. On my vacation, I'm going to work on the presentation of it because it needs an introduction, and then I'll tell that story I told you.
Yes, excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
But one question that I kind of like skimmed past, I really want to ask you.
Yeah.
What is it that you absolutely love about live music?
Oh, well, you know, I try to be another instrument, you know, and when a musician sings or plays from their soul, it moves my soul. And I have spiritual experiences. And let me tell you, if you see me doing this, I'm sending my love and my dance to God. If you see me doing this, most likely Jesus is in the house. And he's cute, and he likes me.
I love it.
And then I do this, and then the Holy Spirit comes in, and usually she taps dance. But once in a while I get tapped on the shoulder, and the angels. I love to dance with the angels, and we did that at the fundraiser to Revelry.
You're right, yeah.
I was dancing with Rick, the harp player from the Wars.
Right, right.
And it turned really slow, and we didn't want to, you know. So he said, no, let's do this. I said, okay. And two little kids were joining us. I said, angels, angels, be an angel. We're dancing with angels. And we all got our wings out and danced.
Very cool.
Fabulous. Yeah, so I do have, like, you know, I'm Latina. We believe there's a thing, well, when I started reading Latino literature, fiction, in my 30s, it talked about magic realism and the thin veil between here and the thin veil between the spiritual world and our earthly experience. And it's very big to me. I've had, you know, usually it comes to me in a smell that I know who's there. My equities I used to come more often. But anyway.
Very cool. Yeah, it is like a spiritual experience, and it brings people together. That's what I notice about, you know, you promoting these events too. It's like getting the community together, you know, doing something in Ridgecrest, you know,
that's
getting
all
out
music
there.
really is to bring people together for a good time.
And you know, if I may throw in something there, you know, 2019, I was in a really place in my life where I was lost, you know, and I really needed somebody. I just lost my mom, and then I started going to more events, you know, Mo's being the big one, where I used to just go to open mics, and then there was such a community of people out there that were supportive and making music together, and bands formed out of that, you know, be it at Mo's or the USO building, musicians met one another and came together. Exactly. So, yeah, I feel like, you know, live music is really important in that too.
Especially during the hard
It
times.
keeps the spirit going, you know, through tough
During
times.
like tough times, music is the best thing to do. Like for you wrote a song out of it.
Yeah.
Crossroads and all that.
Crossroads. Look it up.
That's
Crossroads,
that.
Black Heart Streets.
I don't know, does it work like that for like you like writing articles now? Does that kind of like help with like hard times? Like goes to the music, you know what I'm saying?
Writing doesn't help with hard times. No. I don't know what helps me with hard times. I've had plenty. I have a child who had cancer twice. That was hell. That was hell on earth. So, and a lot of my life is recreating myself. Now everybody thinks of me as a dancer. You know, I mean, that's my identity. But and I love it. Brings me such joy. And there's some places like when I dance at a Jawbone Canyon store, they really appreciate there. Like just people say, I'm sitting in the back. I can feel you. I can see your joy, and I can feel joy. You know?
Yeah.
And then women in their like 40s seem to like me. And they go, oh, you're how old? I want to be be you when I grow up. And,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Still
so
rocking it.
Yeah, it's full of life. Yeah.
yeah, always move forward, always look ahead, you know, always.
As I say, there's always a rainbow at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah. You have more energy than me at 28.
And my cousin said, you know, she goes, Laura, I don't see how you do it, especially after driving. I said, honey, I take naps and I have caffeine. That's a secret.
Diet Coke.
Yeah, and if I have to go out to a 9 o'clock, God forbid, venue, I don't do much all day, I tell you. I focus on keeping it together so I can go have fun and not hurt myself, you know.
There you go.
Awesome.
Yeah. Music definitely feeds the soul. I'm speaking for myself.
No
Oh,
kidding. No
yeah.
kidding. When you pull out the tambourine, Rose jumps in the
Okay. My tambourine. I love my tambourine.
Bro probably sleeps with it too.
Stop. Well, anyways, thank you so much, Laura, for your time. And really, we've gotten to know a lot about you. And, you know, keep moving forward. And High Desert Music Fan,
Check
definitely
out.
follow the page. Yeah, check her out, man. She's amazing. Definitely. So,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
When you're over, I have something to say to you.
Thank you.
Oh, I want to say when I met you.
Huh? Okay.
I met this sweet young man. You know, I'm a big flirt, but I never hit on you. I gotta say,
I will.
I gotta say, one of these
One
musicians
at a
that's
time,
a good friend of
please.
yours said to me, I don't know how old you are, but you look great. And I said, well, I'm old enough to be the older woman. God's wife, I introduced her to me. I scared the crap out of her. Anyway, no, I met you because we're both fans of the Lost.
Yeah. I'll
We
last
would
later.
we would sit next to each other over at Zinbo and listen to her for we would just hang out.
Yeah.
And that's when we became friends, and I'm so impressed. No, I go to school where LA
Yeah, I was going to school in LA.
and driving there and driving back.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
That was
and
my
that finally
escape.
paid off. Congratulations on your career.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate it. That was my escape, you know, when I had so many assignments I needed to do, and I was like, all right, well, let me get this done, and then I can go out and enjoy some live music, relax a little. Yeah. And All Lost has a relaxing voice.
Oh
you know?
yeah, it was your reward. It was your reward.
Yeah. So definitely. Yeah, it's been a fun adventure.
And then we saw Sting together. at
Oh
the
my
Hollywood
gosh.
Bowl.
Yes.
And I sent you that link, right, where you can find parking and pay for it. And
Yes.
It's cheap.
Thank you. Yes, that's gonna come in handy. Yes. Yeah, we went there. And little did we know the whole. We knew it was a sold out show, but we didn't think, oh wow, the parking's gonna be sold out too. So we had quite a bit of a walk.
And a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cost
But that was
us,
okay.
too.
It's well worth it. God, he's gorgeous. I
He's
just say,
amazing.
take your clothes up. Take it.
Go see New Kids on the Block.
Go see New Kids.
They take off their clothes.
Yes, they do. It's a whole
I
show.
was about over it.
He was over it.
I'm like, okay, you got some good songs, but I want to see your six pack.
Oh, that Sting's beautiful.
Well, this has been Ridgecrest Talks. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you for having me. This is fun.
It's an
I
honor.
hope to get
Anytime.
I hope to get discovered.
We'll definitely have to do it again. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Oh yeah.
Thanks so much.
Right there.
Woo! Thank you. And if you would please sign my program too.
Ah.